Water Street today.
That's what they're trying to do.
I know, that's where they're working.
Okay, we'll call to order the Jonesboro Board of Public Works and Safety for March 25th. Brittany, roll call.
John,
Here.
Dave,
Here.
and Greg.
Here. Approval of the minutes for March 11th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for March 11th as presented.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg. Abstain.
Do I abstain?
Yeah.
Abstain. Okay, utilities, request for adjustment. South 4th Avenue for a total of $1927.72.
Which one was it, Greg? Sorry.
1200 South 4th
Oh,
Avenue.
gotcha, okay.
Says here it was a 3-month average. They did catch it for,
So, she did an adjustment for January and February, but his bill still reflected the leak in March. So what I did was I went ahead and calculated some more, and I took off the penalties too, because we've been working on this bill since
Right.
January.
Yeah.
So, that's my calculation on what needs adjusted off.
So this part was number credit. We originally calculated it.
Right.
That's what it should have been.
That's what she adjusted.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was on the, that's January adjustment, February adjustment, because his bills were calculated wrong.
Okay.
And then this is the week in March.
Okay. I got
Yeah,
you.
it's a mess. It took me all day to try to figure this out.
I got you.
So has it been fixed?
Yes, yeah, and he's good with it now.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the utility adjustment for 1200 South 4th Avenue.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye. 908 South Border, 489.28.
Make a motion to approve the utility adjustment 908 South Quarter.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second. Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye. One more, 225 East 10th Street for $2539.27. Big one's tonight.
Yeah.
This is the one you guys caught in the backyard, right?
225 East 10th, yeah. She had left her Well, she thought she had a broken line out in the yard, her whole yard was flooded. We went to do the locates, we walked around to the backyard and we could hear water running, and she had left her hose on all winter, and it busted. So it's an outside spigot that busted.
I got you.
As soon as we shut it off, actually the spigot didn't bust, the hose did. As soon as we shut it off, her leak quit.
So for my benefit, we just give them credit for the sewage part, right, and charge them for the water?
Correct. Make a motion for the utility adjustment for 225 East 10th Street.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany, roll call.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye. Any requests for payment plans? Utility customer requests, complaints, questions?
Water squim thing.
Did you say that with a smile, George? Thank you.
Wash
Okay,
parts with a smile.
public works projects? Mr. Brad?
Good evening. Update on the water plant project. Masons are still on site. As you may have noticed, there's 3 walls up now. They're leaving the 4th one out. I was told today the equipment is going in this week. That's why they left the north wall out, so they'll move the equipment in. And I believe the trusses have been ordered and the roof materials, so we'll get the tanks in and the roof on. So we've almost got a building now, so we're moving forward with that.
Still June completion date?
So we have, I believe, Ken, that was an August 1st completion date on the contract. That was up and
I'm
running.
just trying to push it a
I
little
know.
bit. Yeah, thank you.
The CCNG 2024, as I mentioned in the last meeting, that's really no change on that. E&D is scheduled to be in first week of May. Again, that's from 22 Water Street, from State Road 22 to East 5th Street. And then again, the 2025-1, which we were awarded the money for, that's the continuation. That will, we will open bids April the 22nd. So that's still on track. And then the demolition of J.C. Knight, that's been pushed out till a bid date of May the 13th of this year. So I guess with that, there's really no change. We're just kind of holding steady and
Okay.
putting the pen to the paper. So.
You guys heard anything on community grants for the roads, or I know at one point they talked about doing away with them, have you heard anything since?
They will ask you to prepare, implement a will tax. And if you implement a will tax, then you're still eligible for them. I don't know what that means, but that's the,
We have one in the county,
We have
right?
one through the county,
and New Becky still okay.
Okay.
but I'll forward you the email from AIM because they kind of go into it
Okay.
in detail.
Okay,
There you go, get it from the source.
thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, street utility superintendent?
And as far as all of our equipment, everything's good except for the back truck. Again, I did turn in a green slip today, we did get prices to get that back up and running. And that equipment's good, permits, I filed, I think, 3 permits in the last 2 weeks, no road closures. The last 2 weeks, we've done 41 work orders, we done reading of the meters, done 50 locates in the last 2 weeks. We started doing today some of the alleys, putting some stone in them. We ordered some tines for the tractor, because we only had 2 and it was only about that wide, so we ordered 4 new ones from Tractor Supply. We're gonna try to actually, instead of just filling in the hole, we're gonna try to dig it up a little bit, break it loose, and then fill them in. Be grabbing some cold mix from Brooks tomorrow to start going around hitting some of the the potholes that's popping out.
Yeah, I did ask Quentin about Fourth Avenue, a couple of people down there were asking me, there's several opening up right now, so.
And we're getting quotes, we got one, Brittany's got, we're waiting on another one. Collins Electric said they couldn't be here till next week. And that's to get electric ran out to that pole barn that's out in the garage lot. That's to get electric ran to it, plugs put in it, lights put in it, so we can actually start using that as a workable garage too. So as soon as we get the other quotes, we'll go from there. And then I know I talked to you guys last, I don't know, 2 or 3 meetings, with you and Bob and them about the White Oaks pumps. Still can't get no answer from Quality. I did call Ted Sims back. He's gonna, well, he did come, he looked at our plant over there. He's gonna get me some quotes on the pumps that he says will go in there, will work, and all the parts are made right here in America, not overseas. I did talk to Gas City, they use the same group, and they said usually it's that day or the next day he can have the parts there. So, just waiting on him to get back with me on a quote on that. Cause right now we're still running one pump at White Oaks. Other than that, that's it for the city part, unless you guys have anything else.
About the electric down at the park for the cameras, where are you at on that?
Have you heard any more? He never did get a hold of me.
Darn.
I had it all white lined with white paint for where they need to go to,
Yeah, I mean, we
but I
can,
haven't heard nothing from them.
so he never called, okay. I'll reach out to him in the morning.
We've got everything down in the back of the bathrooms there in that storage, all of our stuff's there. We just need the ditcher and then we can run.
So if they can't, Gas City can't help us, we can probably rent one.
I mean, Brian said he would, I just.
You can rent the
Yeah.
real ones, but he said he done all the ball field for us, so it's just when you're working with someone else, you gotta go on their schedule too, so.
Understand.
I'll find
All right, thank you.
Quentin, did I understand last meeting, you were buying a leaf back?
Yes, the leaf back, last I heard the email, it's supposed to be here sometime probably this week. They took the old one in trade. It's not a new one by any means, it's one that they used to rent, out at Brown's in Fort Wayne. But they sold us that with ours on trade, bringing us extra rims and tires. And then I'm not sure the exact warranty, but he said he would make sure that everything was up and running and before they ever delivered it.
Quentin, the house at 10th and Boyd came down.
Yep.
Looks nice. Is that tree gonna stay?
No, they actually, I don't know if you've seen, they actually dug us a big, hole in the back side of the lot. They put all the brush in there where the fire department's gonna burn that brush, and then the rest of that old tree will get cut down and burnt too. So then they hopefully will come back in and smooth that out and put more dirt in.
It looks nice.
All the houses are down now, the one on Woolick is down, the one on Ray Street and Third is down. So all 3 houses that was in the courts is down and cleaned up except for the brush.
Yeah,
And the
Bob.
fire department's gonna do that.
Bob wanted me to make sure that we thanked area plan and the county for getting those down, that was huge, so 3 of them down in the last couple of weeks, so.
Did you get your trees cut at your lot?
Yes, well, they actually, I think, finished up tonight.
You happy with it?
Yeah, we still gotta do a little bit of cleaning, but as far as the brush, yeah, it makes that lot look a lot bigger. So, hopefully we can get the rest of it cleaned up, and if Bob can find that money that he sent for a new barn, we'll have a cleared out spot.
Thank you for all you do for us.
Anything else?
And that fire department, if they don't have any other questions.
Your total pack that you're getting for the potholes, is that able to use for the cutouts for the water?
You
leaks
can.
Or not?
You can,
I
take
didn't know if
more
that
than-
hole or not.
Yeah, you gotta hold till they can get in here and pave it, but as close as it is now, I would say wait. Cause we got stone in all of them, so I'm not saying they're perfectly smooth, but they're
Okay.
nothing that's gonna tear a car up. But with it being this close to being able to get hot mix, and I think Bob was gonna have him do our call, I don't know if he's gonna do Yanni Scott or who, but have him come down and start doing all them cuts from the leaks.
Fire department?
12 calls since the last meeting, 4 fire, 8 medical. All equipment's up and running. We're just still waiting on Troyer to be able to get the other police car in and finish up the electric, and then we can switch that other one out to a squad for the fire department. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet at the fire department, so.
Good question?
Quentin, are you having trouble with manning? I've been reading a lot. A lot of towns are having trouble recruiting firefighters.
Oh yeah, recruiting definitely. I can hold a 20-man department, and right now I have 15, I believe. And you just can't get no applicants. No one, to me, no one wants to spend the time that it takes. Right now, volunteers put in as much time as a full-time when it comes to training. We do the firefighter 1 and 2, we do all that just like they do. So if you work an 8-hour shift, you get home. Most of them meetings are on Mondays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, and start at 6 and end at 10. And that goes on, I think it's now about 12 weeks now, I think.
Yeah, I think they start sometime in January
So,
and end up in
To
May.
get someone that wants to work and then go do that for 16 weeks every other day, and on Saturdays to do your actual practical working them out, it's just hard to find people. But as far as right now, our department making runs, no, we're averaging anywhere from 4 to 8 guys every run. So,
Some of the guys we appreciate it, we really do.
Are you interested, George?
You know, I am, but that heart doctor is gonna work on me
Is there a way?
Thursday, said, no.
Fair enough. Colton, please?
I don't have a whole lot. We had approximately 75 calls since last meeting. I believe 8 or 9 of those were assisting other agencies. Had a handful of arrests. Those included battery on a police officer and habitual traffic violator, which is a felony. Vehicles are up and running. I'm still waiting to get these forwarded into Troyer. He's tied up. He's pretty busy with doing all of county vehicles and then other agencies as well. And then over the weekend, our department completed defensive tactics and firearms for the year, so we're done with that. I believe that's all I have.
Colton, are you able to commit any resources to these school bus stop arm violators in town?
Yes, our officers will follow the school buses periodically when we're available to make sure that nobody's disregarding those stop signs, or stop arms.
Any numbers by chance
On anyone
number of
running them?
stops?
No, yeah, we haven't had anybody that, when we monitored, we haven't seen anybody disregard.
Thank you.
You guys have any questions, Colton?
Thank you.
Clerk treasurer?
So Quentin, I may need your help with this one. It's a request to reimburse Drew Smith for the clean and locate for Brights for $350. That's when he had that sewer issue that ended up on our end.
is that the one on 10th Street?
Yeah, West 10th. So he paid this bill, but it ended up being our issue, so he's requesting that we reimburse him.
Yeah, what we done, Bryce went there, ran their camera as far as they could run it, and what it ended up being is, I guess you could say it was his problem, our problem. It was right where the tap goes into the main, that's where it plugged. He was the only one backing up, people on the other side of him was still flowing, but like I said, it was right at the tap, so I guess you could blame it on both of us either way. Gas City come over, and it took us about 10 seconds. Once we ran that high pressure line up there, it hit it, blew it open, and it cleaned it that quick. But he did have Brights there for 2 days trying to find the problem.
Did they do it on our line or his line?
But what? Gas City?
Yeah.
Our line. They went in, because you always go back from the flow, so you don't blow any lines. And as soon as they put the line in there, they ran their camera actually backwards, and we ran into water in our line. but he was the only one actually backing up. Everyone else was still getting by. And I think it was cause, like I said, it was right there at the tap. But he was out of his house for probably almost a week, because it was backing up into, not flooding or anything, but it was backing up into his bathroom. And, but what made it bad, this was right at Christmas time.
I make a motion to approve the bill for Brights to reimburse Drew Smith for the cost. $350.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second, Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye.
And just so you know, again, that's the reason we had to bring Gas City, was because our back truck was still down at that time.
Did I hear we found a camera that
Yeah.
we can now use?
No,
No?
it's got parts made. Tom may even remember that, and he was there, the big camera, that there was actually one part, we found everything, the camera, the cord, everything, but the actual plug that plugs into the actual box, can't find it.
So is it worth looking to see what it cost? Is it
Well, when we looked
obsolete?
it up, we couldn't even find it online.
So outdated.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, me and Bob looked it up online and you couldn't even find it.
alright.
Next is up to $600 for the skid steer rental. The guys have it again, but we don't know how many days they're gonna keep it, so I didn't wanna go ahead and pay ahead. So they have it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If they keep it all 3 days, he will let them keep it Friday for free. But I don't know if they're gonna keep it all week.
If we try to do everything we want, we probably will. That's-
It made a huge difference up on Main Street. I think it's worth it myself.
And it's just not gonna be sweeping the streets. We're using it, like I said, in the alleys today, we used it. We're gonna try to use it possibly on the sidewalks over here on 6th Street, where we're gonna put the berm between the road and the sidewalk. We just gotta kinda pick and choose, cause Sunday, or Thursday, it looks like it's gonna rain all day, and we may not get to use it a lot then. But he did say we could have it for Friday for free if we went for 3 days with it.
Can you get the bridge down there on 6th Street also, there's a bunch of leaves piled up on it?
We can, but county should be coming through and doing it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the roll on skid steer for up to $600.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second, Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye.
And I will tell you, he is cheaper than Gilman's and stuff. We checked, and Gilman's is higher than what he's charging us.
Next is an estimate from Jim for Unleashed Technologies. This is a mini PC Windows and 24-inch monitor to be able to do our YouTube videos here, because this laptop is not cutting it. It's $450 total.
Did you say it was a PC?
Yeah.
That would be $14.50.
I know, right?
I make a motion to approve the $450 to Uplease Technology for the purchase of the mini PC and monitor.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second, Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye.
And then the last one is $2,600 to repair the back truck.
Just beers, we work on that thing every time we go to use it.
He did tell us when he was down here that that's one of the oldest back trucks still out running. They've got so many updates and new stuff on them. That's the reason we're having them come. Last time we bought just the bushing that needed to go onto the pump, and it lasted 45 minutes and blew it apart. So when it blew it apart, it actually chunked some of the teeth out of the gear. So they're gonna bring that whole new mechanism, they're gonna put it on, they're gonna get it all aligned, and it's under warranty. Now, not saying it ain't gonna break again, but they're trying to get us to buy a new one, but there's no way you're gonna buy a new vac truck. The fire truck's bad, or the rescue's bad. The bad thing about it's just the vac. The high pressure hose, everything else that they fixed a year ago is working fine. It's just the suction, the motor that does the suction, which is what we need the most.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2,600 to fix the vac truck.
Second time.
Motion and a second, Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye.
I was gonna ask you more, the community garden that we're starting. I was wanting to see if the city would be willing to pay $150 to someone who's gonna come till it.
I think that's a great project myself for the city. I think with the involvement of the people that live down there, I think it's gonna be a good thing, but it's just my opinion.
How many people we have show up down there to?
There was, 1, 2, 6 people total. I'm assuming that we're gonna get more once they see that it's actually being built.
Just over the time.
Brian Watson?
Ryan Watson. He usually charges, for the size we need, he usually charges 200.
I'll make a motion for the $150 to do the tilling in the community garden.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second, Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. And then Earl Gerstoff donated, oh my gosh, probably $1,000 worth of light bulbs, dusk till dawn light bulbs that we can replace the street lights with. So that's a cost saver. He had tons of them.
Nice.
That's
And if
great,
we need more, he can give us more.
that's so great.
Each bulb is dusk to dawn, not just one. Every one of them has a sensor on it.
That's great.
Good.
Nice.
Is that it?
Do you want me to go over donations for the garden that we have so far? Or do you want me to wait?
It's up to you. You wanna go over them now?
So Tom and I kind of started talking about this community garden. And he's reached out to quite a few people. And we actually received a check today for $1,000 that will get us a major start. Then he called the Jackson's Dairy Farm. They're donating 2 loads of fertilizer.
That's great.
And so then
That's
we're gonna have the guys help out and get that dumped and then have it tilled and then we can get started. So
Yay.
it's
Good.
looking good.
Great job.
Do you know when the county tore that building, the house down, did they take the foundation?
I think there's still maybe some in there, but they took most of it. But I know there is an old sidewalk. If you turn off of Water onto 8th
So,
or 7th, I mean, there is one that runs.
to the back door of the old house?
Now, it's not all there, cause we tore some of it out
Some
when
of
we
it's in
was,
front of the garage door
yeah,
over there.
as we was trying to drag all that new dirt, we had to pull some out. But you may run into some sidewalk.
Well, if we could get a probe or something down there and find it, that way we don't take a chance of destroying a $7,000 tiller.
Right.
Anything else? Good job.
Don't need a motion on donation, do you?
As far as the mayor, you know, he's basking in the sun somewhere in the Bahamas, I think, right now, so,
Good for him.
I don't I don't think he has anything to say.
Not at all.
Okay, approval of expenditures, the water fund. $23,460.46.
I've read the claims for the water fund, I'll make a motion in the amount of $23,460.46.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Greg.
Aye. Wastewater fund, $75,975.75.
I'll make a motion through the wastewater fund, amount of $75,975.75.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany?
John,
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
And Greg.
Aye. Okay, general, for public general questions, comments? George, you awake?
I am.
Okay, well, I couldn't see your eyes, sorry.
I want to thank you for that, Facebook post that you made on the city site.
Which one?
Well, you gave updates.
Oh, I think Brittany did that.
I
Brittany,
just copied what he put.
yeah,
Well, that's, if you don't mind me continuing to say, that's what we need to do. That's our official site. Wabash does that all the time. They got nice decorations and all of that, and I don't know who can do that. But we need to direct people to the city site so that the city can put out information. Just as you did, so that people know where we're at on our projects, what you're doing, your future visions and whatnot.
I don't know how many people you have on that site, you know?
Quite a few. I don't have an exact number.
Well, I understand that's the official city site. Now, the other bitchin' site, whining site's the other one.
The Facebook one.
Yeah, and that's the one where you get the majority of your people.
Yeah.
Is on that one. So, I mean,
But for people who don't have Facebook, to redirect them to the city site is what you're saying?
yeah, we still have to have Facebook.
Correct, correct.
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
it's
city site.
Jonesboro net.
Yeah, the city site he's talking about
Okay.
is Facebook.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, you do, no, you do, I was wrong.
I saw something you put out, I swore it was on city.
Well, she copied and then she put my name down there so I get yelled at, I think.
Well, I'm not gonna yell at you. The only thing I didn't like about it was everybody started going on there and whining about their water bills.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how the hell they manage all that crap. You know, I drink the same water as everybody else in this town, and my bills don't pendulum back and forth. So but it's good.
Okay.
And you may, rather than copy from wherever you did, from the city site, copy it over to that popular site, and that way you'll get wider distribution, because always somebody's gonna whine that they didn't see it, they didn't know about you.
But it was also on Reach Alert, so you sure
Yeah.
got that information on Reach Alert.
Well, I missed it on Reach Alert.
It was a big one, and it almost, I didn't think it was gonna go, but it did.
Well, I was out of town, so I missed it. But it was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I'd like for city to consider keeping that up. I don't know how, I have any idea how much work that is to do. I know your plate's constantly full. You know, I know Brad doesn't have much to do day by day. except Fish and post pictures of fish.
I got one of the flowers, it's coming up, so I'll be.
We've got gardening coming up too.
Yeah. We'll talk to Bob. Bob, I talked about getting away from Facebook. He doesn't like it, okay? So let us, when he gets back, let us talk to him, see what direction he wants to go for the city, and then we'll talk about it in the next meeting, okay?
You know, I'm flexible about that because, Mom's Town used to do the Facebook, and I spoke to the city or town clerk up there, and, it got so bad in her town, they shut it down.
And I think that's kind of where Bob's at right now, honestly, so.
And I can understand it. I'm not asking you to put something up just to be bitched at, hollered at, or carried on. I was thinking more along the lines of keeping the town informed. That seems to be the biggest complaint in town, is nobody's ever said anything to us. You know, we don't know. So, like I say, I don't know how much work that is. If you could consider that, it's appreciated. I think you'll make money off of it. The city site though, I tried to access city ordinances. And either I'm not doing it right, or I'm not the brightest star and stuff.
I struggled getting on it. I finally found it and was able to get onto it, but it took me a little while to figure it out also for some reason.
Why can't it be on the Jonesboro net?
You should be able to just click on the picture of the publishing site.
Well, that's what I thought too, and I didn't have access to it. I'll try it again. It may be on my end.
What else you got, George?
I do, but I'll wait for city council.
Okay.
Thank you for everything you do for us.
Anybody else have any comments? Board, any comments?
No,
Take a motion for adjournment?
moved.
Give us a couple minutes and we'll get started with the, city council.
Hey, George, if you get on the website, it looks like this. And then you scroll down until you see American
No, it's not doing it.
Hey, I talked to your daughter this last week, it converted into registration. She says they tell you all the time.
I told him, just fold it.
Oh, hey,
There's multiple definitions of what I say.
For like minutes, I'm working on that. Currently, no, I have to just make you a copy.
oh, Lori, Lori
Because I live in a steady household.
765-243-6072.
Left at 5:30 this morning, just got back at 5.
Yep. He said he.
So the signing that asked me to get, have it closed now,
Thursday, so we don't want to do it. Because we cut it down, we're just going, you know where the box is on the back of the bathroom that way. We're just gonna go there, go to the pole closest to 6th Street, that pole
At least
to one by the basketball court, stop. And we're gonna start at the, shoulder house. There's only a box there, we got 2 aprons. Go from there back to the kiddie playground, to that pole. And from that box to the pole is by the cabin. You know, we got a little short section, I think we're gonna dig it by hand. That's where the electric is now, over there by Fairmount Avenue. There's a little area that big between the electric box and that pole.
So, we're gonna get it together, there were people out, we are gonna have the
Have a
pizza
camera
party,
there.
people to contribute.
It's gonna be some pretty
That's
short
why.
runs.
Yeah, so where's the
We're not gonna
controls for all
forget.
that? Is that remote somewhere else?
Jim's gonna have the cameras on every pole.
Gotcha.
You have to see how he's doing it all. I know they're like the ones we have on the fire station now. They're like 360. Yes, and they're ones like I've got on my phone now, which I gotta get it up, yeah, I got a new phone that didn't switch over. I just gotta move the camera with my phone.
Let's get started here.
I'll get a hold of Ryan.
Jonesboro City Council for March 25th, Brittany, roll call.
Andrea.
Here.
Rex.
Here.
Clayton.
Here.
Gerald. And Greg.
Here. We'll stand for the pledge of allegiance, remain standing for the prayer by Pastor Ken. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, guys, with me, would you please, gracious Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the sunshine, the warmth that it brings. Thank you for the promise of spring, as we're seeing things green up and bud and bloom. And thank you for this season of year as a reminder of life. And Father, we pray for this meeting tonight, for each person involved, whether they're an elected official, whether they're a citizen of this great community. We also remember those who are traveling this week, being spring break, that you keep everyone safe, bring everyone home safe, and through this be glorified. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, approval for the minutes for March 11th.
This will cost you.
Motion made for the minutes. Second. We have a motion and a second. Bridget, roll call.
Andrea,
Abstain.
Rex,
Yeah.
Clayton,
Yes.
Gerald, and Greg.
Aye. All right, public hearing on the sewage. We're gonna let Ken take over.
Oh, there's a sign sheet going around.
Yeah.
Tonight is a public hearing for proposed sanitary sewer extension project. I have some preliminary engineering reports for each council members. It details where, how much, why. The environmental exhibits for review, they have the same information on it, so if you see something, environmental exhibits. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. I do have a letter that Grant Administrator has requested towns, the city sign, and then there are two resolutions as well. You got a copy of it. Also, we're going after grant money, $700,000 from Oakland, and then the rest will be loan from the state revolving funds. And I asked, just for your information, an email to your financial advisor, Mitchell, and I said, what are the chances of perhaps getting some additional monies similar to what we did from the water project? And he replied with that email, seemed like it might be a good chance for you to be able to do that. I'm not sure negate the need for a rate increase, but as far as the project, you wouldn't have much of an impact on your rates. So, I don't know if you'll pass it down or whatever.
Sure.
But we did ask him, and he did seem to indicate that there might be some funding available, so that that project itself will be a minimal or no rate increase. So I'll go through the reasons and rhymes and all that, and answer any questions you may have. So the city has 646 sewer connections, thanks to the clerk and her staff for those numbers, and 95 connections, or 95 residences that are not connected. So if you were to connect those 95 residences, that would give you a 15% increase in the number of sewer customers you have in your town. If we could get that connected for minimal or no charge, that would just produce just under $7,000 a month revenue for the town. Why are we looking at this? Because there's been some complaints recently, especially on the Seminole River side of the town, where there's been some sewage, and there was a county inspection, and they took samples of the material they thought was coming from someone's sanitary sewer discharge in their home, and it did test positive for E. coli, fecal tall matter. So there is some discharge of sanitary sewage on that side of town, or on that side of the city. That's positive. We believe there's probably some more. We're gonna try to do some more testing. So that along with some issues on the west side of town, just outside corporate limits. We did do an income survey, so those people are included in the income area, so they can also be qualified to be using the grant money. So the combination of, there is some issues with people's sewage not being properly treated, more than a few we think, and the issue of, really these guys are inside your corporation boundaries, and they're not connected to your sewer. 15% of the people in your community aren't connected to your sewer, becomes a big issue. So that's what this project is for. The preliminary engineering report there details that. Let's talk about a $2.4 million project that if you go through a grant of $700,000, that takes it down to $1.7 million. And talking to Mitchell, that should be, a good portion of that should be either 0% forgivable loan or otherwise some type of incentive where you could touch your rate. I can't promise you anything, but that is one of the things that give money out is health threats. And since you are low income MHI under the 55,000, if you're 44, your chances of getting grants are improved. And with the health threat and the testing positive, we think that you can get a good chance to get some funding.
So what part of the process will we find out whether we get the money and there'll be no cost to us?
We are gonna turn in, if you guys approve the preliminary engineering report through the resolution, PER resolution, we'll turn the preliminary engineering report in Monday to state. In 2 months, they will score that, and then by June, you will know whether or not they're gonna subsidize their funding, not the Holker grant. Holker grant's automatically a grant.
Sure.
They will tell you in June, or around, there roundabouts, whether or not you qualify for some additional subsidized funding to go with that.
Okay. So
if you chose to say, get this, you certainly have that under your control.
Okay.
Brad would probably be upset, but other than that. No, I'm just joking, I'm sorry, that's not a very good joke. You have the ability to say no at that point in time.
Okay.
So, but if you're adding $7,000 a month over a 20-year period, the additional revenue itself will pay for that project.
It will, but we gotta pay for it up front though first, right?
Well, you pay monthly until the project's over with, so if you collect monthly, you pay monthly. So you wouldn't have to pay it front, you would just pay as you go along.
So, and are we assuming that we're gonna force all 95 to go onto the sewer line?
There's this, yes. Short answer is yes, we will handle that for you. As a matter of fact, one of the things I was gonna ask permission for tonight is to send out postcards to all 95 residences. Coltonville, maybe you have some police protection there. Have them come and explain to them exactly what the town or city's looking at doing. I'd be happy to be the target. I'm a good guy, you can't hardly miss me anyway, so,
Okay.
and let them know there is state laws, and if you're violating, health issues, that it won't be just you, we'll also have the county health department there with us.
Yeah.
So, and if we need to, we'll have someone from the state there as well. So yes, that is the intent.
So,
Otherwise, there's no reason to spend the money and connect it if you're not gonna affect the revenue of the project.
so you talk about getting more funding for doing our portion of it, but it sounds like there's quite a bit of cost for each person to hook up. Is that my understanding? Like up to $12,000, that's a number that I heard, or, you know, I may be wrong, but I thought in our last meeting, wasn't that what we talked about?
$1,200, I thought.
$1,200 is the tap fee.
And it's still a lot for a low-income family,
Sure.
especially if it's, how I feel will depend a lot on what kind of time horizon we give, but.
So is there any help for the people to, on that part also possibly?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There is funding through 2 different programs. USDA has funding, and the state revolving fund itself has funding. And, I need to check, I wish I had the answer, but I'm not sure if they changed this or not. In the past, they've allowed the project's funds to run the line over to their discharge point, which is either the septic tank or whichever, where the pipe goes up. So if we have permission from the property owner itself in writing, you may be able to go on their property and connect, which would be minimal. But there is funding available for that, there's help available for that. We will address that, if we have permission to send out cards and have a call here. None of you guys have to be there, I'll take care of it for you. You may not want to be there, you may want to be there, I don't know. I've talked enough, I'm sorry to keep time going on.
No, you're fine. I wanna ask everybody on the council if they have questions. I'm sorry I'm stealing all the time.
I'm gonna have to look through this more, but.
Feel free to email.
Yeah, for sure. I don't wanna be a negative Nelly, but I don't wanna just vote this through either. I'm just trying to understand, I don't think I understand this sentence on the need for project. Says compared to the pumped and bills drinking water to the amount billed by Gas City, the city of Jonesboro has approximately 50% more water being sent to Gas City meter than it sells to residents from the water utility?
That was recycled from the planning study, where if you get a situation, you get a lot of rainwater and a lot of infiltration inflow, then say, for example, you pump 100,000 gallons. Put a lot of rainwater in there, you can get a lot more pumping over there than what you just use for sewage. So basically, it's an issue where rainwater causes, more flow over there. That's what that means.
So we're, oh gosh.
White Oaks is a bad.
So we're paying Gas City
for clean
for
water.
150,000 gallons, say, and we're only getting revenue for 100,000 because half of it's rainwater.
That has happened in the past, yes.
We also have the water plant that currently goes right into the sewage, right? And then
Whenever we have to back wash our pumps or our filters, that's pumped right over into the sewer and goes to Gas Civic.
But the new system.
The new system will not do that. The new system recycles everything and reuses it.
And we're looking at, it's okay if I mention, we're looking at a potential wastewater plant. We're looking at a potential wastewater plant.
We're looking at lots of things, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, we're looking, there's a lot of money flying around these mouths right now.
I think what we gotta look at though, and I think Ken and Brad will talk about this, if we don't vote this through, the state's probably gonna come in and make us get these people hooked up because they're within the 300 feet of our sewers. And then it's gonna fall completely on them.
There's a law on that one.
And Donnie said state law. There's a state law that says if you're over 300 foot of a sewer, that you can be required to connect on to the sewer.
So you mentioned 95 residents. How many of them's on the south side and how many's on the west side?
There's a list of residences by address in there, so you can take a look through that list. And also there's an exhibit, the 2 exhibits on there. You can take a look through the exhibit and see how many homes are on either side of the it was close to being split, I thought. But I
thought Winston Road was not Jonesboro.
It's not, but they have, everyone on 6th Street, Winston Road, and 9th Street has water or sewage. Some, one or the other. But there's no sewage going down Winston Road at all. All along 6th Street and behind the houses on 9th Street. There's nothing on Winston
The
Road.
ones on 9th Street years ago, how they got it, they unlegal tap. They unlegal taps as we smoked. They should have been brought in then. That's my opinion of it.
So can we force the people on Winston Road that's not even in the city to join?
If the county, with the county's help in there with the 300 foot of sewer, it's a state law, you could tell them they have to connect. I'm not sure what kind of kickback you're gonna get, but yes, you can do that for state law. And I'll get you the copy of the state law.
Sorry, go ahead.
Another source of funding to help, if for some reason we don't get the funding in the project to connect people, there's something called the Barron Law, which you can use to be able to, finance those taps over a period of time. So there's a few different ways for the residences to connect. If we can't get it, if we can't, we're in just hopes in the project.
More questions?
Did you guys pick up the people on 4th Avenue too? On the county side of 4th Avenue? More or less where Greg lives, but the opposite side, you guys picked them up, okay?
I don't know if they give us that or not. We counted 95, I'll have to check that.
Cause there is some over there that have water, there's some that's got sewer.
Then I'm sure they picked them up. They're very helpful.
I guess I'm just a little confused because, I mean, the area that's outside city limits, I mean, we've had potential annexation discussions, and we've had discussions about, well, what do we charge them for the water? Is it the same rate, or do we do the 10% more that the state allows? And the consensus that I've heard, at least recently, is like, well, maybe we were a little silly to hook them up to the water before they agreed to be part of the city. Now, that's basically any leverage you have. So I guess I'm hesitant to do that again. I mean, hook them up to more city services when they're not part of the city. I mean, I guess it's strange to me why water would be such a draw or leverage, but sewage wouldn't.
Well, because right now they have wells and septics, and until they go down, but once it goes down, they don't have enough room out there for the new septic. The health department will not let them put in a new septic.
Yeah, that's what we've noticed, and in fact, I think 3 homes now.
We've got 3 homes on 6th Street that's already attached to our sewer because they couldn't rebuild.
So I guess I'm not super excited to run sewage lines out there.
They're already there on 9th and 6th, they're just not there on Winston Road. 6th Street, 9th Street have it, Winston Road doesn't.
So, but didn't we have to have them put the grinders in on 6th Street?
Yes,
Reach
they
it?
have to
So
put a grinder.
everybody would have to put a grinder in.
Well, I don't know, that's their job there.
We actually designed gravity sewer where we wouldn't be crossing 6th Street, it'd be in behind the homes, so it's more of an ideal situation.
So it's gonna be like 9th Street, it'll be behind
Rather
the
than having
houses.
a road cut every time crossing 6th Street, you would actually have gravity behind the homes.
More questions from the council?
How long do we have to talk about? I mean, I assume tonight isn't the only time we're asking questions. This is just the first public hearing. What's the, because I mean, we could talk all night if it was only tonight, but there's no.
For the preliminary engineer report, you would need to decide whether you want to submit it tonight, which is due on Monday. So we could submit that, and then you could move forward with that funding, and if you decided to kill it, you could kill it. There's another public hearing, it will be between April 17th and June 20th. So there will be another public hearing. If you wanted to review everything, get more information, and be ready at that public hearing to ask more questions, or email questions to me or Nikki or Brad, we'd be happy to answer them. But to get the project going, you would need to decide if you want to move forward with submitting the PER. If not, that's fine, if you choose to, we would just need the resolutions, that's it.
So we can pass the 2 resolutions tonight, still not be out any money, and still then talk about it later, correct?
Yeah, if you do the project, you won't owe anybody.
Okay.
And I see the options, like, you lay out options later on, it's like southwest only, southeast only, like, those are still on the table, even if we've got this preliminary, options are on the table. Okay.
If you choose to do one area and not the other, you can certainly do that.
Yeah.
You still go after the full amount of the $700,000 grant, and you just cut the funding from SRF and
Yeah.
Any more questions from the council? Do we have any questions from the public? For or against? Step up to the mic, state your name and address.
I'm Joe Wolf, I live at 211 South Main Street. I'm just curious, so is this just to connect the people that aren't connected?
Yes.
This isn't for the water plant?
No, this is just sewage.
So my concern is the efficacy of forcing citizens who have currently functioning sewage treat like their own septic, right? And so you're forcing them to get a loan, like what's the situation there? Like it doesn't affect me, but I'm just concerned for that.
That's part of what we discussed, the cost of actually hooking them up, and I heard 1,200, I had a 12,000 in my head.
No, we were like 1,200.
So $1,200, Ken did say there was some things out there to help them do that.
And that'd be them going on their own to then
No,
seek that.
Part of the project.
But part of the problem is unless we run the sewer lines
You're
to
waiting,
them.
you're waiting for them to fail, then when they're
Yes,
forced to.
and then they have no option at that point.
Right.
Yes.
And that makes sense.
And that's what we're running into on Sixth Street that he's talking about.
And that's the problem,
They can't
then
get
they
another-
are stuck with the price
Yeah.
because
Then they're just
there's
stuck with-
no grant help or nothing.
Right,
Yeah.
then they would
They
be
would
on
be
their
stuck
own to
with all
search
that
for
money.
them, yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
I'm
years
sure
ago, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, who lived on Douglas Street, when the city decided to run stuff down Douglas Street, they had a good well septic tank, and they was told for so many feet.
That you have to hook up.
And the only way they got a discount on that back in, when the contractor come through, that was the best way to tap in, because they give every homeowner a discount for running the line out.
Yeah. See, and that's a financial burden on them,
I know.
having had a working septic tank. I totally understand for people who have a health risk with their septic tank failing, or it's not up to code otherwise. But like
I've
people
only
who
been
are,
on the city for years, not finding ways to do this, because they're in the city limits,
yeah,
and they should be using our utilities.
I support you guys in
We're giving them
income,
a free, that's just like you living in the
sense.
city, and you can do what the county says. 'Cause we got properties here in the city, down Main Street, the backside of our properties in the county.
Yeah.
As a fire department, we've been called down there, and we have to tell people who's complaining, we can't do that because it's in their back 40, it's in the county. But that property should really be in city limits.
And
And that's the way this is. It's time that the city start fixing their problems. We don't, we're gonna stay the way we are.
to your,
Pour down.
Well, we can encourage growth without hurting citizens.
Yeah.
That's my point.
And-
Is this is hurting people
I
in
know.
a situation where they could better themselves to help make you guys more money for the city if they were to open or buy more property otherwise, but if you're hurting them financially, they're never gonna get to that place sooner where they can help the city in other ways. That's my point.
That's fair.
Good comment, thank you. Anybody else?
if I just briefly to support his point, yes, it's the hookup cost. Let's also remember, it is now continual monthly payments for what before, so you buy a septic tank, you put out $15,000 or $20,000 for a 25-year stream basically of, $1,500 a year that you don't have to pay to the city. Well, particularly if you just laid out $15,000 or $20,000 for a septic tank 5 years ago, and now you're also gonna get this stream of cost, that's quite a costly endeavor. And that doesn't necessarily mean we don't do it, but I think we need to provide serious incentives or options. We're gonna have to figure this out. Just a normal hookup can't be it, I don't think.
Right, I mean, I would assume we would be able to come up with opt-outs in that situation if your septic system is within a certain range. It's old, I mean, to his point, I agree, if you're just putting out money for a new septic system and now the city comes along. Now, if your septic system's 20 years,
Right.
well,
Right.
it's gonna fail sooner or later.
Right.
So you need to hook up.
Right.
But there needs to be some parameters to opt out.
But do you get that choice if the state comes in? Because like you said, it is a state law,
But the state's not gonna come in unless we call them. I mean, that's what city councils are for.
but they've already been called.
Well, yeah, and I think if they come, they're welcome to do it, but I'm not gonna send sheriffs out to people in that situation, and I'm willing to be outvoted. But, and just for transparency, so it doesn't show up on Facebook or whatever, I'm one of the addresses that's gonna be forced to hook up.
Right.
Now, thankfully, my septic system's pretty old, so I probably will want to hook up. But if I had just bought a new septic system, I'd be behind that podium and saying, we have to have some kind of something, 5-year plan, discount, something. But,
Yeah, I agree with you that, because it's not fair if they spent money and now we'll backs down.
Well, yeah, I think what everyone said, the gentleman here, what Gerald said about contingencies possibly to opt out, if this, then that. Here's where we're at, like Clayton said, you have, I think this is doable. You know, there's options, not 25, we're not gonna give you 500 options, but to get to here, from here, where we can't go back to, what is the best thing to do for the people, for us, for, like Rex said, or Clayton said, he's one of them, I'm probably one of them too. Brad can contest to that. That, you know, it doesn't have to be ugly, but it has, you know, we can offer options that we can all work towards, but not forcing anyone to do what's not doable.
And I understand what you're saying, but we have to understand then what does that do to the grant? If that number
Correct,
goes down, then we'll have to.
Right, so
understand
we'll
that.
have to work within that.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more discussions.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, we definitely need Bob back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, after seeing this, I'd like to definitely read through it and probably have some questions and concerns, but,
We will put together, you're limited because, just like the Board of Works has to approve, any adjustments, you really just can't say, I'm going to give you guys a break on your street.
Right.
But there's other options available.
Right.
That would make it a little more palatable. So I'll put those together for you and get them to you. I probably should have them tonight, but, again, you already get the time, Bob. I'll get those together. The way to look at it is this: if you were to build a wastewater treatment plant, if you had a wastewater treatment plant all these years, and those people that didn't contribute were sitting in the city with a septic tank, you're required by state law again to provide sewage for your residents if they're inside the corporation boundaries. It's required. So that they would be sitting inside the corporation boundaries, not contributing to a plant that you're required to operate. So on that view of it, you'd be dragging the system because your neighbors would be paying that plant and you wouldn't be. So I understand what you're saying. If you just put a brand new system in, there needs to be something there to soften the blow. We'll get that information for you. But on the other token, as a city responsibility, which you're also required to look out for as a the council, you really need the additional residents, and I'm not sure what your monthly revenue is in the sewage department, but I'm sure $7,000 additional dollars wouldn't hurt things when you might not be in the best shape anymore.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll get those incentives together.
all right,
Other committees will put together.
any more questions from either side? So he's got a couple resolutions here that we need to pass. Again, this isn't saying we're gonna do it, but to get started, to see what kind of funding we can get and stuff that he's asking us to pass. First one is SRF loan program. And again, this is not committing us to the project, so once the mayor gets back, we all need to have more discussions and dig into this information and go from there. We're looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
which one are we looking at?
The
SRF
loan program signatory authorization resolution. We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Brittany?
Andrea,
Aye.
Rex,
Aye.
Clayton,
Aye.
Gerald.
Aye.
And Greg.
Aye. The second one is model per acceptance resolution. Looking for a motion?
I'll move we approve it.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Brittany?
Andrea,
Aye.
Rex,
Aye.
Clayton,
Aye.
Gerald.
Aye.
And Greg.
Aye. Any other questions or comments?
I do just wanna say, having passed these, it's great to search for it, but I don't wanna be bullied 4 months down the line and say, oh, you can't vote no on this now because the state's gonna remove their money. That's fine. I hear every single day, this is out of compliance, this is out of compliance. Everyone in this town, every city in this county is out of compliance with every other state law, and they know it, and they wrote the laws to do it that way. I'm not gonna be bullied. This is not Indianapolis.
I don't know who you think's gonna bully you. I'm not sold on
The
the
state.
whole thing myself.
Nobody here, I'm talking about the state, right? I'm talking about the state. And if they wanna send their state police officers to enforce stuff, that's fine. But we're the ones who gotta vote yes or no on this stuff. And
I agree, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for me, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way, so.
And I appreciate the engineering work, and I'm happy to prove that.
Absolutely.
You know, we gotta know what we're talking about.
State police will show this, these county health department.
Yeah.
It easy to have a gun, I mean.
Well, I agree with you. I can't thank you two enough for us to have the confidence in you to glean the information that we need, not just to, hey, you should do this. We're like, and when we ask your advice, you tell us the truth and have our own questions, and we're gonna do what we're elected to do, but at the same time, we have that confidence in you too, so I appreciate it.
And we're definitely gonna ask for another public hearing before we go any further. Thank you for your comments, we appreciate the public's comments, you know, we're working for you guys, so you gotta let us know.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Tell your friends.
I had to say something, because
No,
last
you're
time I
fine.
didn't talk during the chicken thing, and
3 to 2.
Yeah, you probably look at there's that chicken lady
I
and said no.
I saw her stuff on Facebook, I was mad, I was like, I should have stood up.
Okay, Brittany?
When we go to do that other public hearing, can we do it separate from a regular meeting? So
You can
that
have a
one
special
time?
hearing anytime. You can do it at school, you can do it wherever you have a large area, we can send a postcard to every resident in town. Or just the people that are involved in the sewage, we can do that for you, we can send down lesson pledges. If you have a survey, we can send a survey out. If you have specific questions you wanna ask the people on the survey, tell us what they are, we'll put them right on the survey, and you get answers directly from the people. We'll send postcards. Yep, absolutely, and then we can take care of that, let us know, right after the 17th, you're gonna have a hearing in May, we can do that as well, we'll work with you however you want. Sorry to talk so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We don't know what we don't have this information.
We'll officially close the public hearing. Thank you, Ken and Brad. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. All right, new business. You guys are all talked out now.
Never.
Okay, old business.
I checked the area-wide zoning ordinance. It doesn't really have much about gardens or anything like that, so I don't think we need a fence. I just wanted to make sure, does it have to be a certain amount away from the property line, or if we need a fence or anything, but there wasn't anything after a medium look.
Okay.
And then this is technically redevelopment, but have we talked to our contact from the Legion and or the neighbor to the memorial property to come to the next meeting?
Yes, I talked to the landowner. He will be here on the 8th. I thought Bob was gonna talk to Rusty, because I didn't have Rusty's contact.
Okay.
So,
I have it if you need it.
okay, you can give it to me and I'll do that, yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
I do have something, to say. I was contacted. I'm glad this beautiful lady is here. You're the lady of the walkway, correct? Okay, we might have some help for the walkway to help. I was approached by Pastor Harden, Noel Harden from the river, who they've been wanting to really get involved with the community. And he personally contacted me at church last week. And they have a team, not just a few people, but like a team of people. You know, they've called the mayor, but I think he was on hiatus right now in someplace tropical, but that's okay. Really wanting to do things, not just a couple people. And I said, hey, maybe that might be a good fit for you needing help for that. So that's one of the possibilities. So I just wanted you to know that there is hope. And we didn't forget about you. And you were one of the first people that I thought of to that project that you do and have done so loyally for all these years. So just wanted you to know that hope is coming and there's hope.
Yes, Mrs. Presswood wanted to speak tonight, so if you wanna come on up and talk.
I'm sorry
at
to
this
jump, but
point.
I didn't want
No,
to
you're
forget.
fine.
I wouldn't have forgotten.
The question I got before she speaks,
Okay.
she asked last year about us helping with water.
Yes.
Have we done anything on that?
No, I don't think so. No, not at this point.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I checked how we could get this connection rental booth, and I found this.
Okay.
So all that would be is that, then you pull this out,
Okay.
cover it up, and I could put a lock on it, nobody knows that there's water underneath.
Okay.
And I'd be willing to pay for that too.
Okay.
Because
Well,
I
let's-
couldn't install it. but
Okay, I know Bob had some concerns about a water line down there, there's not one close, right? Was that part of the problem?
I have looked at the maps.
Okay.
Where are you talking? Right there at Fourth Avenue, or
At the
Fourth Street?
trailhead,
Oh, the
Yeah.
one at the end?
yes.
10th Street.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's no water down there.
Okay, so that may be part of our problem, but
Um,
if you're okay, I would like to get this to Bob when he gets back, and I'll have a discussion with him and see what we can do as far as that part of it, okay? But he did talk about it, we talked to Quentin, he did mention there's no water lines down there, which means we'd have to run a water line from,
You got it at Boyd, but not that far on 10th. Like Dre Hoff and all them that are
I'm
on
kind of
septic
surprised
and wells.
because Jim Milligan, who's the chairperson, he contacted, I don't know whom, but then there were arrows on the side of the trailhead where the water department marked that the water line is running there.
well, he's the water department, so we'll yell at him about that. No, there's no water lines, they were probably, somebody else was doing some work down there probably, because they do gas lines, electric, and water,
Maybe for
so.
demolition. Would that have been when they did the demolition?
No, not that far, it's
Oh, okay.
further down the hill.
It's all the way down at the trailhead where the
Yeah.
trail actually comes off of 10th.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We don't know why anybody would be doing that.
There is a water line on the other side of that that goes down river.
Okay,
So that's possibly what they see marked.
okay. But I'm sorry to put you off, but this has gotta be Bob, so
Right,
how
I
about,
understand,
as soon as
yeah.
he gets back, do we have your number to contact you? Does he have your number?
No, I don't write it on there.
Okay, you wanna write it down for me, please, and then have Bob get a hold of you when we get back, okay? So,
And I'm working on help for her, Mia will help. So it would be a team of people, so.
ran out of road, didn't
You
you?
know where the hydrant is right there at the
Yeah.
bridge? It does run down the river.
Okay,
So you have to run a line from there all the way back up.
okay. So you could use some help down there in watering the plants, right? If we get the church, or would you be interested
But
in
the
help?
problem is the water.
Water, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Well,
Maybe we can get people to help.
people
you.
from the river.
Yeah, get water from the
Who
river.
are really wanting to contribute. I mean, they have constantly come to me to, hey, how can we help? Hey, you know, not just for the school, but the community itself. So you were the first person I thought of, so.
So if someone is willing to bring the water up,
Yeah.
I have a pump, then, you know, we could
Yeah.
put in that container and then hook up the.
And we have
hose.
every group of people, so from younger to older to strong to not as strong. So we have a menagerie of people.
We will try to work on a solution for you. okay?
Yes, ma'am.
For sure.
Now, real quick, do you have a
Yeah,
key
I
to
do.
that, where that is, right
Yeah.
going into the trailhead off of 10th Street? Do you have a key for that?
Yes.
You
got
do.
gate keys.
Okay.
Yeah, so hang on, help is coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bob, we'll have Bob get a hold of you when he gets back, okay? Thank you very much.
While we're on the subject of the Cardinal Greenway, I went to one of the public meetings for the comprehensive plan, and a major theme of the comprehensive plan and several parts of it was extending the Cardinal Greenway down to the southern county line. That's, the consultants and some of the people on the board, I suppose, on the steering committee were very interested in that. So that might be discussions we'll be having on the horizon.
So my property, oh, sorry. Did I say that in my outside voice? Sorry. That was.
Okay, anything else on business? The Easter Bunny is coming to Jonesboro. I don't have the date, I'm sorry, I was trying to look it up, but 19th. So we're doing pretty good on candy and eggs for the Easter Bunny. But if anybody's interested, Medina's, we do 16 Easter baskets for kids at Westview. And she's needing some help with that. If you guys wanna talk to her or give some money to her, she's looking for a little bit of help.
And I do wanna say, Clinton was there with Cheryl Mathias, and Cheryl got all those names, so talk to the parents. So, we're good on that.
And these are kids that probably wouldn't end up getting anything
She
for
did,
Easter.
she was
You know, we've
good about
done
it.
it for how many years, Quentin?
I know Cheryl's helped me,
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
forever.
No.
I mean, we was doing the Easter parade there for a while.
Right. So, Easter Bunny coming to town, fire truck ride, make sure you bring your kids and grandkids up, okay?
It's fun.
Make sure you're talking about 10th Street to Ted, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, not the one.
Yeah.
Is there anything more we need to do for water and 22? I know the state approved to have us do whatever we want, but is there something we need to pass an amendment to the traffic ordinance or anything?
If we decide to go that route, I think.
Okay.
You mean the extension as far as looping it up and
Oh,
back?
no, sorry. The
The
right turn.
Making a right turn on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the ball's really in your
Okay.
court, whatever you guys would.
So we just need to put that on an agenda for a meeting to talk about what we wanna do. Okay.
So it's been approved by the state that we can.
Well, it's not approved, we would, I think they're on board with what.
I think they want suggestions.
His comment was, we'll send us a permit, we'll be looking for a permit, that was his comment. So if you wanna do it,
Okay.
do a little drawing, close the meeting, they'll approve. So if you wanna do it, they'll approve.
So
Good draw.
Yeah.
can we put
So
that
I
on
think
that?
we need to have maybe some discussion on that.
Yeah, can we add that to the next meeting agenda? That's great, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Brad, you wanna discuss where we're at?
Yep.
June timeframe?
The water treatment plant, we have had contractors in for the last couple weeks on and off, which is good, so, they're about 75% done with the block work. They're leaving the north side off. The Artesian, who is the filter supplier, will be bringing those big blue tanks that you see on the ground out there. They'll be moving those in and setting those hopefully this week, that's what I was being told, so, once we get those in, then they'll put the trusses on the building, so.
Great.
And everything else kinda happens inside, so, as I mentioned, all the underground is there, so, basically, getting the piping done on the inside of the building, that goes fairly quickly, quicker than, which is what we wanna see, so, we are targeting a August 1st deadline, on that, to where the plant will be up and running, so, we're excited about that. And I'll mention again, the 2024-1 project, that is slated to start the 1st of May. So again, that would be, we would need to come in and do the sidewalk works, and then the paving would then happen after that. And then the 2025-1, which is the continuation of that project from 5th Street to 10th, that goes out to bid. The plans, we're actually finishing the plans now, we'll receive bids on April the 22nd on that one. And that is a widening on that, it's a little bit more trickier than the first phase. There's a few conflicts from 5th to 10th Street utility poles, but we're widening it just a few feet, which should help out on the traffic, with the traffic crossing. And then again, the JC Knight demolition, plans and specs are being done now, and then we'll bid that on May the 13th, so. Changing scenery down there.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yes. I was looking at that today thinking, man, new building up,
I
old building
know.
down, so.
That'd be great for my
On
area.
that project, Brad,
I'm sorry?
on that project, did we say and start start date, when we would like him to do it? Have we said anything?
We,
Or we just leave it up to the contractor?
Ken, help me on that, we have is it 18 months to complete that project?
Do 18 months and you can do whatever you want to do, you can require them to be done at a certain time. Usually you get a better price when you just say, get it done within a certain time period. You can ask them to bid a number of days. You can say, hey, how long do you think it'd take to do it? And they can bid that, so that you can do anything you want to.
We'll probably wanna talk to the headmaster to see, because I think originally they wanted to see if they could get it done over fall break, but Kansas fall break is too short for that to be feasible, so we'll probably wanna work with headmaster down there. I also wanted to ask about the bricks. I've gotten a couple people ask, have you figured out a price? I told them to reach out to the Facebook page or to look on the Facebook page for info.
Yeah, I'll have a better idea that, we meet on the first, second Monday of the month, and we'll have a better idea. Because we're putting feelers out to alumni associations. Ken and I need to put something out on Facebook to kind of get a feel for how many.
Yeah, cause I told people, you guys was wanting to know how many.
Can we get 10,000 of those bricks stacked
Well,
up?
tell City Hall.
Yeah, if we can sell 10,000.
Not the garage.
That would solve a lot of our issues.
So would now be an appropriate time to like talk to the headmaster and figure out when are like times that they don't want it to happen?
Absolutely, and I need to get back in the building with, we just need to get back in there and look, and seriously look at the electrical and
Yeah.
see when we're gonna do that transfer, because obviously we just can't go in on a Monday morning and unhook them, and
Right.
so that, there's a lot of coordination, unfortunately, with this demolition project to make sure that's done seamlessly.
Realistic, I mean, with what little I've talked to them, realistically, it might have to be the spring, unless it can be done by like end of August. We might have to wait till spring just because of school functions, but yeah, I'll talk to him and see. I mean, is August probably isn't feasible, I would imagine. Can they do, could they do the electrical work in December?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, we could probably get the electrical switched over, then the demolition can happen.
Yeah, later.
At their,
That's not a bad idea.
yeah, I think that's probably, that's, in my mind, that's what I was, so,
Yeah.
I'll
talk to the headmaster and see what he thinks of that.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for me? I guess not, thank you.
For the mayor's comments, again, if you weren't here earlier, thank you to Area Plan and the county for tearing down the 3 buildings. That was a big plus.
Yes, praise God.
So great.
The one on 10th Street was definitely an eyesore, but the other
Yes.
2 were pretty bad also, so definitely looks a lot better. Brittany, fiscal request?
It's $450 for a new mini PC and a monitor to be able to live stream our meetings.
Does that start July 1st or?
It's supposed to right now, it looks like it's working. I don't know how long it's staying up, but.
Okay.
But you don't have a
Yeah.
Because last week's didn't
Yeah,
work.
it kept going off, yeah.
And it's not optional anymore, right?
No, you
Yeah.
have to.
Make it
What you
July.
said, 450?
Looking
And
for
it's
a motion?
I'll make the motion, we approve $450.
Looking for a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, Brittany?
Andrea? Aye. Rex?
Aye.
Clayton?
Aye.
Gerald?
Aye.
And Greg?
Aye.
Thanks for looking for a cheap option, Brittany.
And Jim, he's the one working on it all, so.
Yeah.
Then, we wanna talk about the garden a little bit.
Sure.
Tom has gotten, actually, quite a lot done since we had our meeting last night. He's contacted a few people, we're getting 2 loads of fertilizer from Jackson's Dairy Farm. I am going to request that the city help pay $150 toward tilling to Brian Watson, who's gonna come over and till after we get the fertilizer, maybe some dirt, I don't know yet.
The city hasn't spent anything on this yet, has it?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay.
No. So I will ask for that. Then we also received a check for $1,000 today, and that will give us an awesome start.
That's amazing.
I don't know how many of you are gardeners, but it is very expensive. to
It's
get
so
started.
expensive.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause last year, me and my wife helped my sister-in-law, and we went and got some kind of special dirt at Lowe's, and I think we spent about $150, $200.
No, it's
Yeah, I'm not good if I love to try, and I just try whatever, and it was expensive, just doing whatever.
So, this is on Water Street, is that right?
It's on Water
Where that building was got torn down?
No, it's been down
The house
for,
has been down.
Okay, it's been down.
Yeah.
Because the picture was still up online, but it doesn't be updated online. How big of a plot we're looking at?
Right now, I've got it, I went over last night and put stakes in the ground. It's roughly 40 foot wide by 60 foot long.
Wow.
Like, how big is
That's
that?
quite large.
It's a big garden.
Big.
Yeah.
about the size of this room.
Maybe, yeah, about the size of this room.
That's a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
Our garden is 50 by 50, and it's a lot of work, but
That's where we're gonna need the community's help, everybody that's involved in it, come down in a couple hours, till or
Yeah.
pull weeds or whatnot, water. I mean,
Is there a spigot there?
there will be.
Okay.
So is the idea then everyone has their own little plot within that? Or
I would say just plant and just share whatever.
Okay, so like.
Leave some for someone else.
Vegetables down here where,
Yeah, and we'll probably do the same thing.
yeah.
I mean, there'll be vegetables down there that won't get picked.
But at the same time, let's not don't make me be the vegetable, please.
We are
Always
asking,
leave something for someone else.
if we have 6 people come and help, don't just take care of your area, help
Right.
with the whole.
Absolutely. Hence the community, yeah, right.
I priced, some, what they call wire cloth for a fence around it to try and keep most of the animals out. And, I can get it pretty reasonable, and it's 4 foot tall, half-inch squares. And I've also priced the stakes that it would take to the post to put them in the ground to do that, and the weed cloth. Because I guarantee you, no matter what we do, we're gonna have weeds.
Yeah.
Because it's never been established, it's just a yard.
Yeah.
Even once it's established, you're still
Right.
gonna have weeds.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly, but the guy that's tilling it, that wants to till it for us, he has a very good tiller on the back of his John Deere tractor. And it's not one of these big tractors, but it's a good sized tractor. And he can say, when I leave there to be ready to plant.
Yeah, that's good. Great. So do we need just a motion now for that? Yeah, I'll move that.
I'll second.
with motion and second, Brittany?
Andrea? Aye. Rex? Clayton?
Aye.
Gerald? And Greg.
Aye.
Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but Earl donated lights.
Yes.
Darn lights, probably $1,000 worth, so it's gonna save us a lot of money, and he has more to go out.
That's so great. That was something that I would notice all the time. That's so great. That's great.
Anything else, Brittany?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Approval of the claims for $40,118.97.
I'll make the motion, we set claim as it is.
There's a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, Brittany?
Andrea?
Aye.
Rex?
Aye.
Clayton?
Aye.
Gerald? And Greg.
Aye. Public comments or questions?
Can I have Mr. Wolf, right? What's your first name?
Joseph?
Joseph. No, you're not in trouble. I wanted to. No, I just wanted to remember your first name, and I appreciate you speaking very much so.
That'll teach you to speak in a
No, I'm really nice, don't listen to me. Oh, Thank you.
George, comments? You're awful quiet tonight, we're worried about you. Council, comments or questions?
I want to apologize to Ken, my frustration earlier was not against you, I hope you know that. I get very frustrated with the state sometimes. I appreciate the work you've done.
I have this garden now.
Motion for adjournment? All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, I've been home all week, except for all week. It's spring break. No, I was gonna say, Mr. Wolf, like, on that Facebook thing, if I friended you, you would be like, who is that lady? No, it's great to have people respond. Mr. George down there, we looked to him to give us feedback, we appreciate you, seriously. And the vibe of what's happening and what people are saying. Thank you. I'm going home.
Got some light reading to do.
No.